Success doesn't belong to the smartest or the luckiest. It belongs to the one who takes action every single day. Action beats intention every single time. And when you force yourself to take daily steps, you build momentum that motivation alone can't give you. We all have good intentions. We all tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, I'll get serious next week, I'll commit when the time feels right. But intentions are powerless until they are followed by action. You cannot wish your way into success. You cannot hope your way into a better life. The only path forward is movement. And not random, occasional movement. Consistent, deliberate action taken day after day. Think about it. How many times have you felt motivated for a moment, ready to change everything, but within a few days that fire burned out motivation is like a spark? It feels exciting, but it doesn't last long on its own. If you don't fuel it with consistent action, it fades. But action, real action, creates momentum. And momentum is a force far stronger than motivation. Once you start moving, once you begin taking those daily steps, your progress becomes energy, and that energy fuels you to keep going even on the days you don't feel like it. The challenge is that action doesn't always feel good in the beginning. Forcing yourself to wake up early, forcing yourself to sit down and focus, forcing yourself to go to the gym, forcing yourself to push through when you'd rather take it easy, that's uncomfortable. But discomfort is the price of progress. Every time you push yourself through that resistance, you grow stronger. Every time you choose action instead of excuses, you train your mind to obey you instead of your feelings. That training builds a powerful discipline, and discipline beats motivation every single time. Momentum is built like a snowball. At first, the push feels heavy. It takes effort to move. You have to force yourself. But as the snowball rolls, it grows larger, it gains speed, and suddenly the momentum takes over. Your job is simply to keep it moving a little bit each day. You don't need giant leaps, you need steady steps. And when you look back, you'll realize how far those steady steps have carried you. The difference between intention and action is the difference between dreaming and achieving. Intentions are invisible. They exist only in your mind. Action is visible. It leaves a trail of evidence behind you. When you act daily, you can point to results no matter how small. You can say, I wrote today, I trained today, I studied today. Those small victories may not seem significant in the moment, but they compound. Over weeks, months, and years, they become extraordinary results. Action also builds self-respect. Every time you do what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that your word means something. That proof creates confidence. And confidence makes you unstoppable because you no longer doubt whether you can follow through. You know you can. And it all begins with forcing yourself to take that first uncomfortable step, and then repeating it the next day, and the next, until action becomes habit, and habit becomes identity. There will always be days you don't feel like it. There will always be distractions, excuses, and reasons to wait. But the truth is, the people who win are not the people who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who act in imperfect conditions. They are the ones who push forward when it's inconvenient. They are the ones who keep moving when everyone else has stopped. And because they act daily, they build momentum that no amount of intention could ever create. So if you truly want to change your life, stop relying on how you feel. Stop waiting for motivation to show up and start forcing yourself to act. One action today, another tomorrow. Step by step, day by day, until momentum carries you further than you ever thought possible. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Even the smallest action, repeated daily, creates unstoppable progress. Everybody wants to cross that bridge. Everybody wants the better life, the stronger body, the successful career, the freedom, the confidence. But most people never make it across because they stand at the edge and wait for motivation to carry them. Motivation won't carry you. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is the only thing that can take you from here to there. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up when your bed feels comfortable. It's working on your goals when no one is watching. It's choosing the long-term reward over the short-term pleasure. And the truth is, discipline doesn't always feel good. It feels tough, it feels inconvenient, and it feels uncomfortable. But it is in that discomfort that your strength is built. Every time you keep going when you want to quit, every time you act when you'd rather rest, you are building the bridge that leads you closer to the life you desire. What most people miss is that discipline doesn't require huge leaps. It's not about changing everything in a single day. It's about small, consistent actions repeated again and again. Read one page daily, and eventually you've finished books. Do 10 push-ups every day, and eventually your body transforms. Save a little money each week, and eventually you have a foundation for freedom. One action by itself may not look like much, but repeated daily, it compounds. And compounding is the magic of discipline. Think of water dripping on stone. One drop means nothing, but drop after drop, year after year, it shapes the rock. That is discipline. Tiny acts repeated faithfully, carving out results that look impossible at first. The reason most people fail is not because the dream is too big, but because they quit too soon. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they give up. But discipline doesn't care about instant gratification. Discipline is about staying consistent long enough for the invisible work to become visible. Discipline also builds identity. Every time you follow through, you tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who keeps going. That identity becomes stronger than any excuse. Suddenly, it's not something you have to do, it's who you are. The person who writes, the person who trains, the person who studies, the person who stays committed. That's the power of discipline. It rewires how you see yourself until action becomes natural. And here's the truth, discipline gives you freedom. People think it's the opposite, that discipline is restrictive, that it's about rules and limits. But in reality, discipline is what sets you free. The person without discipline is a prisoner to their moods, to their impulses, to their distractions. The person with discipline controls their direction. They may sacrifice comfort today, but they gain choices tomorrow. Discipline is not chains, it is wings. Ask yourself, where do you want to be a year from now? 5 years from now, the answer is always the same. On the other side of the bridge. And the only way to cross that bridge is step by step, action by action, day by day. Yeah? Some days you will feel like it, most days you won't. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you want. And if what you want truly matters, then discipline is the price you must be willing to pay. So remember this. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you take another step on that bridge. Every small action builds progress. Every repeated effort becomes momentum. And if you refuse to quit, if you keep moving, if you stay consistent, eventually you will stand on the other side, living the life you once only dreamed about. Waiting for the perfect time is an illusion. The only way forward is to act now, today, and again tomorrow until it becomes your lifestyle. How many dreams are buried because someone said, I'll start when the timing is right? How many goals are abandoned because the stars didn't align, or the plan wasn't perfect, or the courage didn't show up? The truth is, the perfect time doesn't exist. There is no magical moment when everything feels easy, when there are no distractions, when fear disappears. If you are waiting for that, you are waiting for nothing. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who started anyway. Thus they began with limited resources, limited knowledge, and plenty of uncertainty. But they understood that clarity doesn't come before action. Clarity comes from action. You don't wait until you feel ready to move forward. You move forward, and then you feel ready. The first step creates the path. When you act now, even in small ways, you send a signal to yourself and to life itself that you are serious. And once you start, momentum begins to build. A single step today makes the next step tomorrow easier. A single action this week makes the next one automatic. Over time, those repeated steps turn into habits, and habits turn into lifestyle. That is how transformation happens, not with one giant leap, but with daily, imperfect, consistent actions. Think of a child learning to walk. They don't wait for the perfect balance, the perfect strength, or the perfect confidence. They stumble forward, fall down, get up, and try again. And through falling and rising, they learn. If they waited for the perfect time to walk, they would never take a step. Adults forget this. We convince ourselves that we need to wait until the finances are right, until we feel confident, until we have more time, until someone approves of us. But those are excuses dressed as reasons. The best time to begin is always now. There will always be reasons to delay. Life will always give you distractions, challenges, and obstacles. But the truth is, if you can't start with imperfect conditions, you will never start at all. If you can't act when life is messy, you won't act even when it's calm, because the habit of waiting becomes stronger than the desire to move. And waiting is dangerous because the longer you wait, the heavier the dream feels and the harder it is to carry. Starting today doesn't mean finishing today. It simply means planting a seed. A single push-up, a single page written, a single phone call made, a single dollar saved. Small, imperfect actions, repeated daily, build more progress than a lifetime of waiting. By tomorrow, you're one step ahead. By next week, you're further than most people who are still waiting. By next month, you've built momentum. And by next year, you've built a life that those who waited can only wish for. Waiting feels safe, but it steals your time. Acting feels uncomfortable, but it gives you progress. You don't need the perfect plan, you need the courage to start. You don't need the right conditions, you need the right decision. And the right decision is always to begin now. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself you'll start later. Later is a thief that robs you of your future. The only time you have is today. And when you act today, and again tomorrow, and again the day after, eventually action becomes automatic. And automatic action becomes lifestyle. That lifestyle is what creates results, confidence, freedom, and success. Listen to me carefully, because this is the moment that matters. You've heard the principles. You've seen how discipline builds the bridge, how action beats intention, and how waiting for the perfect time is the greatest illusion. But now it's about you, not your neighbor, not your friends, not the people you scroll past online. It's about you and the life you want to build. Ask yourself right now, how much longer are you willing to wait? How much longer will you say someday? Because someday is not a day of the week. Someday is not on the calendar. And if you keep waiting for it, it will never come. The only day you ever have, the only moment that belongs to you is today. Imagine this. A year from now, you could look back on this very moment and say, that was the day I decided. That was the day I stopped waiting. That was the day I began moving forward. Can you feel the power of that choice? Can you feel the weight of that decision? Because everything can change the second you stop talking and start doing. You say you want confidence? Then take the first step and build it. You say you want freedom? Then create discipline and earn it. You say you want a better life? Then act like it belongs to you. Because it does, but only if you are willing to fight for it. Let me tell you something. You will never feel ready. You will never wake up one morning and feel fearless. Fear doesn't leave before action. Fear leaves because of action. The only cure for doubt is movement. The only cure for hesitation is doing the thing you're afraid to do. And when you act, even trembling, even uncertain, you begin to kill the fear that has been holding you hostage for far too long. Now let me speak directly to the excuses in your head. I don't have enough time. You do, but you waste it. I don't know how. You'll learn by starting. You don't feel motivated. Motivation is a gift, not a guarantee. Don't wait for it. Create it by moving first. Every excuse is a lie designed to keep you comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. What if you gave yourself just 30 days? 30 days of consistent action, 30 days of no excuses, 30 days of doing what you know you need to do. Do you understand how much your life can shift in 30 days? Most people underestimate what they can do in a short time because they never try with full commitment. But you could be the exception. You could be the one who proves to yourself that change doesn't take years. It takes a decision and follow through. Look, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. Which one are you willing to live with? When you're older, will you say, I'm glad I tried? Or will you whisper, I wish I had? That choice is being made right now. Every action you take is casting a vote for the person you will become. I want you to see yourself walking across that bridge I spoke about earlier. On one side is where you are today, comfortable, familiar, maybe even stuck. On the other side is the life you've always imagined, stronger, freer, more fulfilled. That life is not out of reach. It's not reserved for the lucky ones. It's waiting for the disciplined ones, the action takers, the people who start now, not later. Every step you take across that bridge is proof that you are capable of more than you believed. And yes, you will stumble, you will fall, you will face resistance. But failure is not the end, it's feedback. Every time you get up, you grow stronger. Every time you try, you become more unstoppable. The only way you truly lose is by quitting. And you are not a quitter. Not if you've listened this far. Not if you've felt that fire in your chest. So here is my challenge to you. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, do one thing that moves you closer to the life you want. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be real. Because one step leads to two steps lead to momentum, and momentum leads to transformation. Say it with me. I will act today. I will not wait. I will build discipline. I will stop waiting for perfect conditions. I will create my own momentum. I will become the person I was meant to be. This is not just a speech. This is your wake-up call. This is your line in the sand. From this moment forward, you are not just a dreamer. You are a doer. You are a builder. You are someone who forces action day by day until it becomes a lifestyle, until it becomes who you are. And when you look back on your journey, when you see the bridge you built with your own hands, when you feel the strength that discipline gave you, when you stand in the life you once only imagined, you'll realize that the power was never out there. It was always in you. And you'll know that everything changed the moment you stopped waiting and started acting. So what are you waiting for? The bridge is waiting. The future is waiting. Your best self is waiting. Step forward. Step forward. Take action. Do it now.